This is a pretty exciting day for us. It's been just under a week since we placed the order for the brewing kit. Big hype up from Get a Brewed, so those guys have been awesome, literally best customer service. We were speaking to a couple of different companies. Get a Brewed just have a generally good reputation, so we were always going to consider them as one of the stockists for the kit. So just under a week it took to deliver. This arrived today, so we're pretty excited. So I'm going to hand over to Alan, who's going to walk us through the kit that we've bought, and yeah, let's get unboxing. As you can see, 7 litre all-in-one system. Weighs a little bit. Right, so on top we seem to have, I guess this is a filter plate. I think this rests on top. I think when you're like sparging, this is the bottom of like the mash that stops your grain, keeps it above heating elements. So we've got one of the accessories, a hop spider. This thing is just to put the pellet hops in, just keeps it together in there and helps make sure that you don't block the pump or anything like that. It also means you can take the hops out whenever you want, say if you only want them in there for a certain amount of time to either thickness or whatever. This is just an insulation jacket for the brewing system, just simple neoprene insulation, but just reduces energy use, encourages it to come up to the boil faster, so not that much money, kind of essential thing really. And that was an extra, like the hop spider and that, so all like extras. Some like companies will do like a lot of the accessories as like a bundle deal, and sometimes do special offers. Get a Brew don't tend to as much. Most of these all-in-one systems are made in a factory in China. They're all just variations on the theme, depending on what company wants as their specs and stuff, so they're all quite similar. But the big thing that's the difference is the customer service. Get a Brew is basically the only one that offers a 3-year warranty with the equipment that they sell. It's kind of a no-brainer just to spend just that little bit extra for just, you know, that security and everything. Well, Get a Brewed also stock the Brew Monk. Very similar systems, both offers 3-year warranty. Partly the Brewster Beacon had all the like the accessories and bits and bobs currently in stock. Brew Monk didn't for the bigger size. This is a cool little gizmo. It's a simple little thing, but that's the edition that lets you whirlpool within the copper. So it lets you sort of just clarify the work a bit more, use pellets directly in it, and also helps you utilise your hops a bit better because it, you know, does the movement in their circulation. This bit has absolutely no relation to the Brewster Beacon, but they've obviously just spare space in there. There's packed other stuff that we've ordered in there. So this is actually the pressure kit for the Firmzilla fermenter, 60 litre fermenter that we've got. For the Brewster Beacon they have a 30 litre, which is your sort of most common amount sort of one, because most sort of brewers brew to you know, sort of between 20 and 30 litres, that's sort of like the most common sort of size. A lot of them have sort of the mid-range one, generally sort of 45 litre, 50 litre one. And then a few, not so many, do a sort of 60, 70 litre one. I mean, this says it's 70 litres in total, but you know, you've got to leave head space for the boil so you don't boil over. What you'll actually end up getting out of it is 60 litres. Refractometer, always essential to know the gravity of your beer. Stevenson Reeves hydrometer, again essential. You need to be able to read your gravity with basically one of these to basically work out your ABV. That's a legal requirement by the government, especially when we start selling. It's like I've ordered this, but I'm still there going, oh yeah, I forgot I ordered this. It's that many little bits and pieces. This bit again, sort of like the whirlpool, is like a shorter thing, so it's when you're recirculating your mash. which is a good thing for when you're mashing in. It helps your efficiency, everything, and the clarity of your work if you can recirculate the mash from the bottom to the top. And it also ensures that you've got an even temperature throughout the mash, ensuring you have a work that's consistent with how you want it to be. So you can mash in at 65 and get really fermentable work that will ferment down quite far, or you might want to mash it like 69 degrees, where it will stop higher up, leave more sugars and everything in there, give you a bit more body and stuff, and it just sort of really helps you to have like consistent temperature throughout, because you could have the bottom of the mash could be 70 because it's near the heating plate, the top could be like 65, and the middle could be like 66. So, there we go. Here's another sort of little gizmo. pH meter, and it's essential making beers to have the correct pH for your beers, depending what sort of beer you want. Little things make big differences as you're brewing beer, and it just helps you just to refine your beers. There you go. The main piece, the actual brew jar itself. It's a bit of an ethereal thing when you say 70 litres. You don't think it's going to be that big, but actually, yeah. Quite solid. I mean, that steel is actually quite thick. I mean, I've seen like some of them that like you can press it in quite easily, but I actually can't press that in. Well, this is probably why like the company actually offers a 3-year warranty, because they're a bit more confident in the quality. So that's the main body of the grain basket. So this just fits into there. So you can just lift it out in stages when you finish mashing in. So the difference between the Brewster Beacon and the Brew Monk, as far as I can see, is the Brewster Beacon doesn't have a tap, the Brew Monk does, so you can also run off from the tap rather than just through the pump like Brewster Beacon. I don't mind running through the pump because, as you see later, I got a plate chiller rather than an immersion chiller, so I need a pump to pump it through the chiller anyway, so that doesn't really become an issue for me. But what I also like about the Brewster Beacon, which is different from the Brew Monk, is that the recirc arm is separate to the measurement glass. So this is the point where you can see how much you've got in. On most of the systems that I've seen, that doubles as the recirc. So when you're recircing, like say, just the mash or whirlpooling, you don't actually know how much you've got in. So I just quite like that. And also, quite a lot of times from reports on other systems, these things crack. And I'm guessing it's partly through the action of recircing quite a lot. But as you can see from this, instead of that, they've got a steel pipe, which is just going to be much more robust. And this thing, not that bad just by itself, but I'd imagine once you put all this in, and then recipes that have formed, I think we'll use anywhere from probably 10 to 20 kilograms of grain. Right, we're going to unpack our Firmzilla 60 litre. So this is your stand that just sort of holds it in place. And most important bit, a nice big measure, so you can sort of have it set like that. Quite a few are doing them, but like there's two that sort of lead really. One's the Firmzilla, which is, the other is the Fermenter King. The Firmzilla has been around a bit longer. They're great pieces of kit because you can do pressurized fermenting, so you can ferment under pressure, you can carbonate in it, you can just sort of make sure that no oxygen gets in there whatsoever, like fermenting in open buckets. And this just means that you can make modern beer styles. And mainly, the rise of New England IPAs has given the rise to this kind of thing. But you cannot make a good New England in an open bucket. It just won't work. Trust me, I've tried a lot. And this has got the separate pressure kit here. Done the brew day in our beacon, and we just fill it up. Don't need to worry about oxygen at this point. In fact, a little bit of oxygen is good. So you just put it in, let it there, let it foam up a bit, and that gets a bit of oxygen in it because that actually helps the yeast to start. I've got another bit of kit that I've already got because I have a smaller 20-litre version of these already. Where I've just got a dial where I can set, it's basically a pressure gauge, and I can set what pressure this holds. So, I can have it ferment at such a pressure that at the end of fermentation, because you produce two things from fermentation, from yeast, sugar, alcohol, and carbon dioxide. So most fermentations will produce enough carbon dioxide to carbonate your beer. The only time you need to start adding more carbon dioxide, hooking up a gas canister to it, is if you've got to open it up, say to do like dry hopping, and it'll lose a little bit there, and just so you might need to hook up a gas bolt at the end to help it condition and that. But the other good thing is you can just put a tap directly onto the top of these and just drink straight from the fermenter, especially since part of the pressure kit is you just have a float ball in the tube, so it takes from the top of the beer level rather than the bottom of the yeast.
Yeah.
So we have our cannula semi-automatic seamer. We chose this one because it's one of the most widespread ones. Any issues are known with it. It's reliable. You might need to calibrate it yourself, change the shuck, because these are made in China and they use different standard can lids to us. So you may need to adjust it for that. Semi-automatic is just a bit more useful for us than the manual. It's faster, and it also takes out the human error point. On the manual, you would have to make sure you did the lever to seam the cans just right, especially if you were going to be doing 100 cans at a time. You're doing your 99th can, you've been doing that for about an hour. So that's why I went for this one. I'm really looking forward to using this, getting our beer into cans and getting it out there.